How many special moves are there in chess? What is castling move in chess? What is en passant chess move? What is pawn promotion? So, if you are a beginner or new to the game of chess, these are the basic questions you must be wondering about. These are the three special moves in chess that we need to learn and understand. Two involving the pawn, and one move that involves both the king and the rook. So this video will be special as we will learn more about the special move in chess. Hello friends and welcome to my channel Utpal Chess. I'm Utpal Sasane. In this video we will learn the special chess moves. So this video will be the second in this series of how to play chess for beginners in 11 steps. If you like this video, then please like and share the video. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe to my channel Utpal Chess and hit the bell icon to get the notification of upcoming videos like this. So without wasting any more time, let's start the video. So special chess move, okay, which are those? Let's see. Castling in chess, okay, this is one of the special moves. How do you do that? King side castle or queen side castle. There are two different castling you can do, either on this side or on the other side, this side. So this is king side castle or short castle, and this is this side queen side castle or long castle. Okay, we are going to see now short castle or king side castle. Let's see. The king goes one step normally, that you know, but now here, because it's a special move, we are moving the king two steps. Where? Towards this king. So king will go here. We will see now the next diagram. Okay, king has moved here, but on the same move, okay, yeah, in the same move, you can play one more piece. Okay, now you'll say, how is it possible? Normally, you move only one thing at a time. Because it is a special move, it is allowed only in this. You can do this, okay? You can play two different things at the same time. So the rook comes on the other side. Where do you have to move the rook? The square which he has crossed. The king has crossed this F1 square. There you have to put the rook, or you can say just near the king on the other side. But the right answer is, where you have to put the rook, where you have to put it, the square which this king has crossed from coming here to here, he has crossed this F1 square. So there you have to put the rook. And that's the castling. Okay, at the end it looks like this. So this is how you can do castling. Normally you have to do it in the opening as early as possible. Why? There are two advantages of doing castling. I'll tell you fast. Number one advantage, the king becomes safer. Now you will say how? Let's see here. Yes, here if you see, the king is not that safe here, because normally we move the king and queen's pawn, we move some pieces. So the center normally becomes little open if you compare to the side. And that's why if you want to make the king safe, you go to the side. And where the king goes two steps and the rook comes on the other side. Now, how is it safe here? If you see these pawns, this is the guard. These are the guards for the king. You can say this is a wall for the king. If the opponent wants to attack, he has to first break this wall. So this is the shield for the king, you can say. And that's why the king is safe. Okay, so the king becomes safer after the castle. And the second advantage for of doing castle is, the rook was doing nothing before. See, you can see the rook is doing nothing. It's blocked by this pawn. It can't do anything over here. But he would like to go on the file where the pawn is at, or on the open file. Normally we move the center pawns and we get the open files in the center. So there, if you can get a rook, that's very good. And that's what we can do if you do castling. Now the rook comes on this side where the pawn is at, or where you have the open file. So the rook was not active before. Now it becomes active after the castle. The rook was passive. Now it's active. So two advantages I told you. Number one, king is safe. Number two, rook becomes active. These are the things you should understand. Okay. Now I told you short castle or king side castle. Let's see the queen side castle. The same way. See, normally king goes one, but here two steps. And where does the rook moves? I told you which square he has crossed. The king has crossed this square. So that rook will come here. Now this will be a little longer, because this is a queen side castle. You will come here. So yes, rook comes on the other side. and this is called queen side castle. It completes here and then it looks like this. Now let's see if white does this short castle or king side castle and black does this long castle, then how does it look like this? Like this is the king side castle versus queen side castle, and that position is called as opposite side castling. How to play that game we will learn afterwards. Okay, so this is also one very interesting thing, how to play when both of the opponent does castle different sides, opposite sides. That's very interesting. Okay. Okay, before we go ahead, let's see what are the rules for castling in chess. Okay, we have seen how to do castle, what are the advantages of castle. Now we should see some important rules as well. So number one rule is that you must move the king first and then the rook in order to do castle. That means if you want to do castle, I will show you the diagram. Yes, if you want to do castle, now you have to move the king first. Okay, this is the king and we have to play like this. Then we can do castling. But instead of doing this, if we try to move the rook first, now see, if I play here, do you think we can do castle? Let's see. See, it's not happening. Why? Because the rule says whenever you want to do castle, you should move the king first. So first you have to move the king and then you move the rook. So this is the sequence. Okay, if you move the rook first, then you cannot do the castle. So let's see again. I will play the king first and see automatically the castling has happened. So this is the number one rule. We should know this. Okay, let's see the second important rule. Okay, other than that, the king and this rook, they should not have moved before the castling. What do you mean by that? I will tell you. Suppose I have played this king. Why? Suppose I will just give you example. Suppose, yes, let's see. This is the position, and here I'm just playing this, and then suppose I play this, and yes, here let me do this one. Okay, now there is a check. Now I can block this check, I can capture this. Okay, but instead of that, suppose I have moved the king either here or here. Okay, I played here. Now suppose the opponent has moved back and then I moved back, because now I remember, I have to do castle, because if I don't do castle, the rook is not coming out. But then the problem, you will see the problem now. Okay, I suppose the opponent has played this, and now if you try to do castle, now see what is happening. See, is it happening now? I'm trying to play two step, right? This is how we play, but then why is it not happening? The problem is we have already moved the king before and we put it back. So the condition was you shouldn't have played the king or the rook before. So this is the problem. That's why now you cannot do castle in that game. So this is number one. Okay, like this, if I show you, yeah, see now here, when the opponent played this, suppose I captured with this and then opponent captured, and now I made castle. Okay, I didn't move the king, instead I just tried to do castle, and see it's happening now. Why? Because the rule says yes, you shouldn't have moved the king before, and I have not moved the king before, I did it directly. So this is okay. Now let's see the second thing. Okay, what was the second thing? The second thing is, suppose if I move the rook before, okay, now opponent played something like, I'm just showing for example. Yes, and now again I played the rook and opponent played something, and now I will try to do castle. So let's see. See, we have already played the rook, okay, and we moved it back. So now let's see if we can do the castle. Now if I try to do castle, see what will happen. Is it happening? The answer is no, it's not happening. Why? What is the problem here? The problem is we have already played the rook and then we put it back. So the condition was we shouldn't have moved the king and with the rook which with we are going to do castle. So that means if we play this rook, we cannot do castle on this side, not on both the sides. So let's try to the other side. I will try to the other side now. Okay, I will try to the other side and then let's see what is happening, if it is happening or not. Yes, now see, I have not moved the king. I have moved this rook before and I have not moved this rook before. So we should be able to do these two with these two. So let's try and see we can. Okay, so the condition you must have understood that the king and the rook with which we are going to do castle should not have been moved before. So they should not move before. If they have moved before, then you cannot do castling. So you can, if you want to do castle on this side, these two should not be moved before. If I try to do castle on this side, okay, let's see. If I try to do when we have not moved, then it's happening. But when, suppose if I play the rook, if I play, suppose I will just try something. I'll just show you. Yeah, I played, suppose this, and opponent played something like this. I'm just showing for example so that you can understand, and then maybe this. And now again, see, we have moved this rook. So if I try to do castle on this side, again, it's not happening. See, so that's the thing. Okay, so the condition was the king and the rook should not be moved before. So they should not been moved before. If you have moved before the king or the rook, then you cannot do castle. So this was the condition. And now let's see the next one. That is, all squares between the king and the rook must be empty. Okay, this is one more. Of course, it is very simple. You can understand this. So yes, now suppose this is the position. Can we do castle here? Now this is very simple to understand. Of course, we can't do castle. We have to move the bishop first, and then there should be no pieces over here. Or if you want to do castle on this side, then the queen also should be outside, not over here. So this is the third condition. The fourth condition is the king cannot be in check. Okay, what do you mean by that? That means if there is attack on the king, we have seen that. So here, yes, when there is a check, now if I try to move, if I try to make castle, it's not going to happen. Okay, but if there is no attack on the king, we can do castle. If there is attack on this square as well, we cannot do castle. If there is attack on this square as well, we cannot do castle. That means there should be no check. There should be no attack on this square and this square as well. That means all these three squares from where to where this king is about to move while doing castle, they should not be attacked. If any one of these squares are attacked, then you cannot do castling. So this is very important rule. Okay. Yes. So these are the rules. Okay, you should know while doing castle. I have mentioned all the important rules. Okay. Now, what is n passant? We are seeing this. We have no timer. We'll just finish it fast. N passant. If your pawn is on the fifth rank, if the opponent plays two steps, this pawn, side pawn here or here, then you can capture, as you can consider it as he normally if he plays one step, how do you capture? The same way you can capture. Just think that even if he is here, you can go there and this will go out. Okay, this pawn will go out of the board. So this rule is very interesting. I'm going to show you on the board like this. E4, suppose he plays C5. Let's go ahead. I'm not saying this is a good move, but I'm just giving you example. So if the side pawn comes two steps, when your pawn is on the fifth rank, if the side pawn comes, it's called en passant, or you can say en pass en passo. They just pronounce differently. That French, you can say language, that en passo or something like that. And yes, this is how you can capture. Okay, if you want to see on the other side, I'll show you the same way you can do like this. Now, can you do more time? Yes. If this pawn is here and if the opponent plays this, again you can do the same thing. Only condition is the pawn should be on the fifth rank. If black wants to do it, black's pawn should be on the 5th rank. Well, I'm showing you. Now see black's pawn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this is looking like 4, but from black side, if you count, it is 5th rank for him. And if the opponent played 2 steps, you can do like this. Okay, so this is how you play en passant or en passo. They just pronounce differently. I told you I'm not very good in that, you can say. Let's go to the next one. This was the en passant, and then this is easier. If any pawn reach on the last rank, see, this is called pawn promotion. We are going to see now pawn promotion. This is one more special move. Normally pawn goes 1 or 2, we have seen, and this is not easy to reach on the last rank. But suppose if your pawn reach on the last rank, then because you did something special, it was not easy, but you did it, so you get some kind of promotion. Now what is that? If the pawn goes here, you have 4 choices. You can take queen, rook, bishop or knight, and this piece will appear over here. Once you put it here, if you are playing online, it will do automatically. You will have these choices and you can select one of these. But if you are playing offline, you have to put the pawn on this square first on the 8th rank, and then this will, you have to put the pawn outside the board and take one queen from there if you have it and put it here. If you don't have the queen, suppose the queen is already on the board, if you have the rook captured already, then the rook you can put upside down. Okay, if you don't have that as well, if they are on the board, you can put the knight, sleeping knight. If you don't have that as well, then you can put 2 pawns on the same square. And if you don't have that as well, then you can see, take it from the other board, other chess set. Okay, these are the things you can do. Yeah, normally we do the queen because it's powerful, most powerful, but you have choices. Yeah, sometimes you have to take rook, bishop, knight, because it can be stalemate sometime, or you have a better chance to do checkmate if you do other pieces, but only rarely. 90, or you can see even 99%, we take the queen. Okay, so this was the pawn promotion. And yeah, how do you do that? I showed you. The pawn goes on the last rank, and then you put the queen over there. The pawn goes outside. Some people, they ask that, okay, can we put the pawn somewhere where the queen was? No, you have to put it on the same square. Some people say, do I have to take the rook only if the pawn goes on the last rank? No. Every pawn, whichever pawn goes on the last rank, you have these 4 choices. So no problem for that. And this is called as pawn promotion. Okay. So we have seen what is pawn promotion. These are the 3 special moves we have seen. Number 1, we have seen the castling, how to do castle. There are 2 castles we have seen: short castle, long castle, or king side castle and queen side castle. Second, we have seen the en passant or en passo. And then the third one, the special move, is pawn promotion. How do you do that? If the pawn reaches the last rank, you get one of these choices and you can put it like this. Okay, you get the queen here and you can continue. Then it is not your turn, the black will play, and then next move you will play. So once you play that, once you get the queen, your turn is over. Some people, they thought that, okay, now I will play again. It's not like that. Okay, so your turn is over. Opponent, if the rook is here, opponent can capture. So you have to be careful while doing that. Don't allow the opponent to capture. Opponent can capture it. If you like this video, then please like and share the video. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe to my channel Utpal Chess and hit the bell icon to get the notification of upcoming videos like this, so that you will never miss any video. If you have any questions, suggestions, then please write to the comment below. I will try to answer those, or I will try to make videos on those topics. You can also check the blog. The link is in the description below. Thanks, and see you in the next video.